Welcome to Ali Fitness Podcast, a weekly production all about bringing health into fitness. Perhaps the most crazy athletes to date. Jacky and Mimi are 2 times Adventure World Champion professional athletes, or I should say multi-sport athletes. They've travelled over 4 continents and 20 countries to participate in 7 different disciplines, including Ironman, XTERRA, cross triathlon, Spartan race, OCR race, multi-sport race, and adventure race. Their plan was to win 7 world championships in 2017, and I haven't even got to the crazy part yet. They do all this on fruit and veggies, and when they're not travelling, they are training on Canary Island in their solar and wind-powered little home where they recycle, have a permaculture garden and dry toilet, I believe, with 0 waste. So, Jacky and Mimi, welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for the invitation.
Hello, everybody. And yes, I'm so happy to be there.
Yeah, look, I'm excited to have you on the show. And like I said, I've never had such crazy multi-sport athletes on the show before. How did you get into endurance sports? And what led you down the path to becoming professionals in multi-sports?
We have 2 different history because me, I'm born and my family was already in the sport. My dad was a very strong runner and my mom, she was used to do many adventure race also. So for me, it was normal, like, since I am kid to be in the endurance sport. Instead to do adventure race, in the past, I was a rower. I have been for a few years in the French national team of rowing. I did for a long time until 22, 23 years old. And after I changed and I met Jacky and I started the sport to do adventure race. And since now, I'm just doing endurance sport.
Right. And so how about yourself, Jacky?
For me, it's a little bit different. I was doing a lot of different sports for a long time, but not competitive sports. And I was doing decathlon when I was a teenager, and I have teach after decathlon. After I fall in the adventure race, and it was my world. So I train. I enjoyed to do the different races everywhere in the world. And after with Mimi, we did more and more races and we felt like it was our sport.
So I've got to ask, how did you meet?
In fact, in our team, the girl has got knee injury. So we have to find another girl at the last minute, like always for many team. My captain at this moment knew a little bit about Mimi. And we say, okay, let's go. We are going for the world champ of adventure race in Canada, Quebec. And we ask her to come with us. And she say, okay, I can come. And we tell her the first section is 100 kilometers of canoe. And she say, oh, it's okay, but I haven't done any kind of kayak or canoe, but I can try it. So she came and we felt we were born to be together.
And at the end of the race, we were already together. And since this date, we are all the time together.
Yeah, right. But let's face it, she may not have had much kayaking experience, but she was a professional rower before this, right?
Yeah, but I can promise you it's totally different. Even if it looks like similar, it's not the same sport. So
yeah, one is backward and one is forward.
Okay. So your plan, I believe, was to win 7 world championships this year. How are you tracking?
Because we do many sports, it fit in the calendar to do 7 world championships. It was like a bet, a game, or I don't know what we can call that. And it was different country, like there is one in, I don't remember, in Spartan and OCR and after multi-sport race. And I don't remember, but many different. And we say, okay, let's try. It's something we haven't done before and we will see.
But in fact, last year we did already 4 or 5 world championships, and the goal it was for me to win each, but finish 4th or 5th all the time. And so we say, oh, it's a good result compared what we trained for. So we say, oh, this year we can try to win all. But we just decided 2 weeks ago we will do less. I don't want to go anymore to do XTERRA Maui because I have some other plan. And it was the same. I canceled at the last minute in Canada the World Championship of ITU Cross Triathlon. It's not because we were not ready to do the race. It's just because we changed our mind and we have more plan. And now we want to have more impact on the planet instead to have impact on the result. Because when you are a racer, I think you are a little bit selfish. So now we want to do something good for the planet instead for us. So that's why we change our plan.
So does that mean that you're not racing then, or you're just choosing to race in different places?
We will race in different places because we are racing for the prize money also. We found some other race and with a better impact for the ecology. So we choose a race who are more involved with the environment. So for Maui, in the same day, there are another race in China involved in the environment. So that's why I prefer to do this race instead of Maui.
Okay. And so Sorry to interrupt. What do you mean by they're more involved with the environment? What's an example of how they're different to the one in Maui?
We will race in Ecologic Park. It's an area they want to protect from the building, from the modern society. So it's good to go there, and racing over there, it's a good promotion. And if they do that over there in China, it means you can do that everywhere in the world. It's a good start. And when you promote a natural environment, it means you speak about recycling and pollution and everything like that. So for us, it's good mean to promote the ecologic way.
Oh, that's awesome. And so obviously you do plan your races and obviously you're open to changing them. So it seems like you do at least like 3 races a month. How do you plan your races and your training? What's the sort of protocol that you use?
Like Mimi said, we have no many sponsors because it's very hard to find it. So we race and we live on the prize money. So we have to choose the race who costs us the least and we can win a good prize money for living. So we choose the races, we put in the calendar, and after when we have seen the races, we plan the training. It's a little bit different than other sport athletes, but we can do a lot of races during 1 or 2 months. But after we have some period where it's more calm and we do a proper training to be fit for the event.
Right. And so you said you base it a bit on finance. Are you fully financed through this, I guess, job?
We are fully financed by our prize money. We are very, very care about how we live. That's why we live in a container house and we have a permaculture garden and all this stuff, because in fact, if you are care, you can protect the planet, but also you can save a lot of money living a cheap way.
Yeah, look, I want to talk to you more about that as well. But I guess before we do, I just wanted to delve into your training and your lifestyle a bit. So does this much sort of exercise and travel take a toll on your body? What do you sort of do in between races to recover? You mentioned that you do a whole lot of races and then you do a bit of recovery. How does it work? Have you got a sort of a system?
I can start to say before we were doing less races, but you know, the adventure races or expedition races, it was like 5-7 days nonstop. These kind of races take a big toll on our body. So we stopped these races and now we are doing like a lot of races, but it's just 1, 2, 3 days and we sleep at the hotel or we can have a recovery. So for us, it's a lot easier compared what we were doing in the past.
Since long time we are racing and we know, I think, really well our body. And so we follow and trust in our body and how I feel. So if we feel today we don't want to train, we prefer to stay at home and to do something different. We are more listening our body than to follow a plan. We were used to follow a plan, but when, like you say, we travel a lot, we have to take care of our body. And so that's why we change. But now we are more available to don't train, because before it was, I felt guilty when I was not training and say, for the next race I will be shit. But now I'm totally okay. If I'm not training, it's good. It's because my body need and I need to recover. And so the day after I can do better training.
Also for the recovery, we have different tricks, and sometimes we have compression socks and compression boots. And also we work a lot with essential oil.
With the food.
The food is a huge way to have a good recovery.
And I think now we can race more than before because we have changed our diet. Because with the diet we follow, we feel the difference for the recovery.
Yeah, the diet and the way of life, because we are very care about how we live, because it's a lot about diet, but also a lot how you live. Like us, we sleep a lot. We more or less, we are at the bed at 9 and we wake up at 8. It's a huge amount, but it's the only way to really recover your body.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about what a day or a week looks like for you. So obviously a big part of that is sleep. And then at 8 a.m. when you wake up, what do you do?
We wake up and after we brush our skin with a special brush to activate the body fluid. During the night, you have a lot of toxins, so you have to evacuate this toxin. So we start the day by this and drinking a mix of herbal plant and seawater. After we go for training.
Yeah.
When we come back, we have fruit. I can say fruit breakfast or lunch. In fact, we have no time for eating. We eat when we are hungry. We don't want to put too much food in our body because the digestion is a huge part to activate your body, and you are a lot tired. How do you say that?
It takes a lot of energy.
More tired. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to digest. So we don't want to eat just because it's the time for the lunch or the time for the dinner. If we are not hungry, it's not a big deal. We train another time in the afternoon. And in between, if we are at home, we do a little bit of working in our garden. Usually we go at bed, like I say, quite early, around 9 something. So
it's typically you have 2 training sessions a day. What do they look like?
Normally, we love to do in the morning water session. So it's stand up, or kayak, or outrigger. It depends. In the afternoon, it's
running mountain bike.
Yeah. In fact, we have 3 sessions. Yeah. We forget every evening we try to do a little workout session for Spartan race. Jacky have built a good obstacle.
A climbing structure.
And so every evening during our gardening, we stop and we do a little training.
Wow, yeah. What a life. You're obviously both very young. So do you think that doing this long term is sustainable?
Well, it depends what is young, because yes, I'm young, but I'm 38 and Jacky also. For us, we feel young, so we can race for a long time. We don't have a plan, but we will race for 10 or 15 years more. I don't know. And we will stay competitive because we have many friends in adventure race. They have already 50 years. They are still strong, so we are not worried about that. We know we can race for a long time.
Yeah, if we can manage our body and keep this way of life, like not too much stress and be careful about our body, it's sure we can continue for many years.
Yeah, and obviously nutrition is a big part of that. Tell us a bit more about that.
What do you want to know? Because
nutrition is a very, very big part. And in fact, we were eating like normal people for many years. I think we start adventure race together, and we did a road trip in Australia for almost 2 years. And you know, when you are in a van, you don't have a fridge, you have no oven, nothing like that. So we stopped eating meat, fish, dairy, all the things you have to put in the fridge. And we didn't feel we missed something. So after we start to study and learn what about the vegetarian and the veganism and everything. And we felt it was a very good way for our body. So it was just step by step. We removed the food we didn't think it's good for our body. And now we are, since a few years, raw vegan athletes. Maybe I don't say vegan because there is some connotation, but we eat mainly fruits.
Plant diet.
Yeah, plant-based diet, mainly on fruits.
Okay, so can you give us a bit of an example maybe of yesterday and what you ate?
Yesterday, wake up and buy the good season for the passion fruit. So I think 30 passion fruit
with oranges.
With oranges. And after I eat few banana, just 3-4 during the afternoon. And in the evening, we had tomatoes because it's the same in the garden. We have a lot of tomatoes with spirulina.
Yeah. And for the lunch, we had some mangoes. We say some mangoes, people are used to eat 1 or 2, but us, when we eat a fruit, it's more like 10 or something like that.
Yesterday, no, it was 5 each. Yeah.
And so it sounds like a lot of fructose then. Does that give you energy? Why do you choose to eat fruit? Obviously, it makes you feel good, or?
In fact, it's from the study we have read, the human body is built to run on fruits. When you are used to eat fruits, your body feel very, very satisfied when you eat lots of fruit because there is lots of minerals and energy and good water. Usually we have 2 meals of fruits, which is so great because all the time we are just looking forward to eat this fruit. And in the evening, we eat more veggies because there is more protein and minerals and all that stuff we need. So yeah, basically it's like that. It's 2 meals of fruits and 1 meal of vegetable.
Right. And then what about when you're doing, say, a long training session or perhaps even a race?
Long training, sometime when we go riding for 6 hours, we take some money and we stop somewhere to buy some fruits, like what kind of fruit we can find in the country we are. We race on dates most of the time. We do our gel from honey and water. So we put honey and honey and water in a soft bottle.
That's why we are not vegan.
Yeah.
Because we eat honey.
Right, okay. And you wouldn't class yourself as fruitarians?
More or less, we are fruitarians, but we still eat leafy green in the evening because it's where you can find more protein. Instead of eating huge salad, we do a juice because it's more comfortable after for digestion, and you can put the vegetable and the fruit, they are poor in vitamin and minerals compared a few years ago, like I can say 50 or 100 years ago. So when you do a juice, you can put bigger quantity of vegetable, which gives you enough minerals for your day.
And would you class yourselves as being orthorexic in any way? So meaning you are very fussy with your eating, you perhaps even OCD, too fussy?
Too
fussy? I don't know what this means.
Yeah,
Sorry for English.
Yeah, I don't know what is it.
So for example, if someone asks you to eat with them and you're like, no, I can't eat this because of this and I don't eat this because of that, and you're very choosy.
Yeah. In fact, a few years ago when we married with Mimi, we invite all our friends and family. It was a very big party on the weekend and we tell to everybody how we eat and why. So most of the time when we visit our friends and family, there is no problem because they can eat their stuff and they just keep some veggie for us or some fruit. But we try to eat with people, but we just accommodate if there is something we don't want to eat. It's not a big deal. We don't eat and that's it.
It's easy for us to share a meal or a lunch with people who are not vegetarian, and Jacky families, they eat meat, and when we are together, they eat, and that's all. In fact, us, it's our choice to eat like that. We have read many articles, and we feel and we think it's the best way, but it's the best way for us. And after, if the people, they don't want to change their diet, they don't trust us, everybody is free, and so there are no problem for us to talk about that, and even if they are not agree with us. So we have to stay free, and I don't want to push people to eat like this. We want to help the people and to share our experience because it's to show them it's possible to eat like that. And we think it's a good way to eat like that. We will talk only with the people who want to have information, who they are interested. But there are many people, they are not interested and we don't want to fight with them. So.
Do you find that you feel that perhaps some supplements would be beneficial, or you don't feel that you lack, say, omega-3 or B12 or anything?
No, this is funny because before, when we start to change our diet, we were used to take a lot of supplement. And since we are eating like that, we don't need anymore this kind of supplement. We don't eat like B12, omega-3, omega-6, we just drink a lot of juice and we take seawater. But for us, it's not like a supplement. It's just the part of our food. It's part of our meal.
Natural.
So, yeah.
Okay. And so when you say you don't need the supplements, have you actually had blood tests to see that all those levels are very good, or you just feel that you're quite intuitive and you feel good?
Both, we did a many study on the body. I did doctorate in the blood, in the physiology of sport. I did many research and I know how it works. We do our own test and we know what we feel because we did. And in fact, even if you are going in the laboratory, if it's not a good quality, it's not perfect, the result. Yeah. And in fact, all the result is compare a normal diet. And there are no real study with the people who are really eating like that. And you can't really compare because it's difficult to explain. Jacky,
I understand what you mean. Yeah, you can't compare because it's a different diet. But even though you can't compare, you could still do a blood test and see that someone's deficient in B12, for example.
Yeah, we have done the blood testing. We are in a normal average. But we have done some other testing by ourselves, like we test acidity, the pH of the blood, urine, and in the mouth. And also we test the resistivity of the same fluid. And we test, the last one is oxidative potential of the fluid. So with this kind of parameter, you can know if you are in a good health. It's a better way to see your health, because it's faster than the blood. When you have a problem in your blood, it means it's a long time you have a problem in your body. But with those kind of protocol, you see in advance if you will have a problem. So we are not doing any more blood testing, but we are doing other kind of tests.
Yeah, okay, very interesting. And it'd be great to see how long this diet serves you as well. I guess you plan to live like this for a long time, so we'll check back in with you in about 5 or 10 years. Another thing I really want to talk to you guys about is your passion for the environment. I mean, you clearly, protecting the planet is a big part of your philosophy. You mentioned that that's how you sort of determine what races you're going to do. But can you tell us a little bit more about how you actually live as fit and healthy athletes?
In fact, I can introduce this because before I was not really care about the nature, and changing the diet, eating more fruit and veggies. And after I just learned how to grow the fruit and veggie, how they can be more full of vitamin. And I understand everything is linked. If you want to be healthy, you have to eat good food. It means good fruit and vegetable. And if you want to have good fruit and vegetable, you need to have a good soil, a good environment. So everything is linked. So from this, when we bought the land to build our container house, we want with Mimi to put no chemical in this soil. And we want to revive the soil because it's quite dead. It's a desert. So we put some bacteria, some worms. So we try to do everything together. So in our home, how we live, it's just a container with solar panel for the electricity, which are not working very well today, but we just need to fix it. We have 0 waste. It means all the fruit and veggie we are eating, I can say the peel we are not eating, but the seed and everything. The seed we plant and the peel we recycle in the compost. And for the toilet is the same. We recycle poo to do a very good compost.
We have a different lifestyle because we have a kitchen, we have no fridge, we have no oven, we have no microwave. Our kitchen is just a blender, a juicer and a tap, and that's all.
Yeah.
All our fruit and vegetable we keep outside, even if here it's 30 degrees, so we keep everything outside. Or when we want something, we go in the garden and we pick up. So everything is fresh.
Yeah, we have tried to stay as simple as we could, but at the same time, we have good comfort. It's not we are living like 1,000 years ago. We have internet. We have it's when we are inside our container, it's like a normal house. So many people, they think if you want to be care of the planet and you want to be more ecologic, you have to come back in the past years. But no, you can live a normal, you just have to change your habits, in fact.
So what's an example of a way that you've just changed a habit? Because Jacky, you said you didn't really care too much for the environment. How did you change that habit? And what's an example?
Before I was recycling nothing, like I was putting everything in the same bin. Sometimes we clean our liver and we have to drink apple juice. If we are here, we buy the apple. We don't buy the apple juice. But if we are during a travel, we buy apple juice, but we try to buy something in a glass container. And after we put the glass container in a recycle bin. I try myself to recycle everything I use. Like it's just a thinking. So we don't bring a lot of things to the city bin. Everything stay in our world and everything has got many life.
But for example, yesterday we prepare our soy. So when we travel, we have a bike box and sometimes we have a carton bike box. And yesterday we use all the cardboard to put on the soil, and we put on over the compost and the new soil, the cardboard bin we use to do something good for the soil. So there's just little example, but it's difficult to answer because after it's our lifestyle. So
outside, for example, the table and the kitchen is made from pallet. The seats are made from old car tire. Many stuff we try to recycle and give a second life.
You're both very inspirational, and I can tell you now a lot of athletes would be listening to this going, I wish we could live like that. So what advice would you give to someone who perhaps isn't living like that? Maybe they're even living in a city. What advice would you give?
It's very difficult for somebody to copy the life of another person, but you have to do, I think, step by step and just do better. Yesterday, you were putting everything in the same bin, and the day after, you try to separate and put in a recycling bin. I think the easiest way is to change some little thing. Yeah, try to be better.
A little advice is just, in fact, us, we are living in the desert, so the water, it's very precious. So now we save every got of water because we know what it means water. So when you are living in the building, you don't really know what is water. The water arrives from the tap and you don't know where it's going and where it's come from. So just this, when you open your tap, you think about what is water.
Yeah. Like for a very simple example, if you are in an apartment and you have some plants, because you can have some plant in the apartment, instead of watering the plant from the tap, when you wash your dish, you keep this water to watering the plant. Or if you take your shower, you can keep this water also to watering your plant. And after, if you watering your plant with your water from the shower, you will think about the product you use during your shower. It means you will use more natural shampoo, more natural soap. It changes step by step. If you want to use the water you have used one time, you think more about what you put in your water. And after you change.
Awesome advice. So in, say, 5, maybe even 10 years' time, where will Jacky and Mimi be on their road to protecting the planet and being healthy athletes?
I would love to be someone people not dream about, but just follow the idea, because if some people can follow me and say, it's a good idea, I would love to be the same, I will be so happy, because if we are more people, just be more care about the planet will be, a big step.
Awesome. And Mimi, any last words for you?
Me, it's the same. I feel I really want to do something for the planet, and I think the sport is a good way to share and to promote, because when you practice sport, it's a mix of everybody. It's all the class, all the people, of the kind of people are together, and they want to prove something to themselves, but they can prove something about the fitness, but they can prove also something about the lifestyle. And so that's why I'm quite sure I will do sport and share the idea to protect the planet.
Awesome.
For a long time.
I really love your approach, both of you. And before I let you go today, I was just wondering if you could tell us a question that we ask all our guests on the show is, do you guys have a tattoo? I'll start with you, Jacky.
I have a small tattoo, and I can answer for Mimi because it's the same. When we get married, we have a ring tattoo, so we can't lose. It's not a problem when we do rock climbing.
Awesome. So you've got no excuse when you lose it in a race or something like that. It can't be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very practical. Yeah. Awesome. And Mimi, do you have another tattoo as well?
No. I was not keen to have a tattoo. And when Jacky proposed me the idea to have the ring, it was an awesome idea. And I love this one. And I don't think I will have another tattoo. Just have this tattoo because it means a lot for me, this tattoo.
Wow, excellent. Now, guys, we're going to follow your progress through all these races. So we're going to put your website in the show notes for everyone to follow you and really look forward to it. Is there anywhere else that we can go to find more about you guys and what you're doing?
Yeah, Facebook and the YouTube channel is the best way to follow us.
And see me, I can say something. Everybody is welcome to visit us in Tenerife. Yeah. So
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah, no, it's not to feel guilty, just to come and to share and to be together and to spend time together.
You better be careful saying that because we may not leave.
Yeah, but this is not a problem.
Yeah, because we travel alone, so we leave.
Awesome. Look, guys, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you so much for your invitation. It was a really good moment.
For all the resources and show notes from today's episode, please go to www.ali.fitness. If you liked today's episode, please show your appreciation by going to iTunes, give us a 5-star review and subscribe.